Okay.
I know what that is,
Oh,
but
you
I'm
know what
saying,
that is. Okay.
how is it scuffed? I should be asking.
Because my thing is not framed correctly. Nothing's wrong with your end. It's my end that's not correct. I'm fixing it.
Okay.
Yes.
Am I watching your stream right now?
Yeah, I should be going live right now. The feeds are going out there. It takes a few minutes to propagate.
Okay. Are you hosting somebody?
Usually I do host somebody.
All right. Someone's playing what looks like Valorant.
Okay, that makes sense.
I drive a sports car and I go for rides a lot to speed and race. Bro, okay. How could I say this? I think that that's amazing. I love that. I love driving fast, although I drive in a work truck. But I've hit like 110. I think I've hit 120 on a highway before in my Chrysler 200 or 300. It was like somewhere between 110 and 120. But please be safe and be careful. I'm not trying to sound like your mom or dad, but be safe, be careful. But I like that you're like an adrenaline junkie, Hollywood. Nothing like a burn turn, really. A turn, a burn. You got a little burn turn going on. Not that I'm saying that you should burn turn, but sometimes you should turn, but burn and turn. All right. Let's see. L B C W.
Well, I'm getting a strange frame on you. I mean, I see you there. You're looking good.
A strange what?
The framing of you is just a little strange, but square. I guess there's nothing wrong with that.
Is that something in my control?
Let me look at your stream real quick, just to see how it's outputting. Just give me a second.
Take your time.
Yeah, okay, you squared yourself up, bro. That's cool. It's fine. You're just square. Your camera's square shaped, and that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. Your camera on your stream is not in a 16:9 format. It's in a more square format. You've been cropped. You cropped yourself. You done cropped yourself.
Should I uncrop?
No,
I'm gonna uncrop you actually.
You can crop whatever you want. You see my stream? You see my stream now?
Yes, I do. It looks beautiful.
Does it?
Hold on.
Well, that makes me want to square myself up now. Square myself to match you. Things feel
Hold on.
Center though. Says that's the middle. But...
Hold on. Okay, see, there's going to be that slight delay, which I don't mind.
Yeah.
So our first story is an update to the Jorge Masvidal and Dana White beef.
All right.
Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take me out of your
Hosting
scene and
you,
just have
bro.
you.
You're being hosted.
Thank you.
Yeah, I normally do host you, but I should be live right now. That's the problem that I. Okay, there you go. Now it says I'm live.
Here we go.
Myself, and I'm just doing a sound test right now.
Sound test 1, 2.
Yeah, let me see. Let me do a sound test on myself. Okay. It looks beautiful. It sounds beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
You look beautiful.
You're beautiful, baby.
You're beautiful.
I wonder if I'm on Mixer and YouTube right now. That's the simul. I do a multicast. I think is the right term.
You're a multitasker.
I'm multitasking and I'm multicasting.
But are you a multi-masturbator?
Yep, I'm on YouTube. That's all I care about. Mixer can go suck a you know what.
Streamlabs OBS has an option
work.
to multicast now.
Oh, I got a chat message. Hello, hello.
Hello, chat message.
And
200, 300.
that just reminded me to bring up my chat box here and turn off the audio.
Muy importante.
Text to speech turned off.
Okay. Bottom, let's do 300.
All right, bro. I think
290.
we're good. Let's launch.
See, 280. 260. 250. Enhance.
Enhance.
What's that from?
That's a freaking movie where they like zoom in and they make it better. There's multiple movies,
Enhance.
bro. Enhance.
It's
multiple, bro.
It's multiple, dude. Like, totally fucking chill, bro. Haha, chill.
Enhance.
Oh, yeah.
Just get funny ideas. Why is this open? That should not be open. Alright.
Let's see. Filtre. Top. Let's do.
My brother?
50. What's up?
Can we get this going?
Oh, yeah. Let's see. 75. 90? Yeah, we could do 90. Done.
We're building 90s?
Oh, yeah. Oh, fuck yeah.
Wall up. Box up.
Okay. All right. What's up, Pepe? All right, man. I'll be back in about 20 minutes. Conor McGregor should have played that song at his fight against Cowboy. Yeah, I know. I get that rush to just rip it a lot. Dude, sometimes you got to rip it. Sometimes you got to grip it. All right, I'm shutting it down, and I'll be right back. And I'm not going to be communicating with chat the same, okay? I'll be back.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. The world thanks you, and the podcast audience thanks you.
Okay, going live. And we're on number 7, you said?
Number 7, brother.
How did I title this before? I think it was just very bland.
You don't have to do much. You can always... So what I do is I just put like current events, podcast 7. And if we get a more... we can fine-tune the title after we post it.
Right.
This is just for the live audience. And now at a live studio audience. I'm going to turn my notifications down so I don't bother people. Where are you?
Going live now.
Stevens. Oh, Donald Pump. Mr. Pump TV.
Pump it up, pump it up,
pump it up.
Pump it up.
That reminds me of
Joe Budden is not a one-hit wonder.
Oh my God. What's going on with your shit? Are you getting an ad now? Is there an ad playing? Okay.
There's always ads starting up.
Okay, yeah, because you restarted your shit, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, because there's an ad on... This is like the actual podcast recording has a quarter of the ad playing. I'm all about ads as long as you and I get directly paid. Oh my God. You're looking like Popeye with that.
I am Popeye. Pop my pee-pee.
Popeye, the pee-pee sailor,
so
man.
Popeye the pee-pee sailor, man.
All right. Well, hello everybody. Welcome to podcast number 7. We're definitely talking about current events. George Floyd is at the front of our thoughts for this podcast. Isn't that right? Jay?
He's definitely there, right there next to the other shit going on with people destroying our communities and inconveniencing innocent people. But yes, the what's going on is definitely, I would say, in my opinion, the main focus to what we want to discuss, because we're both hardworking, tax-paying American citizens, and we follow the rules and we abide by the law, and we understand the value in that, and we care.
So I know that we're 7 podcasts in, and we are we have some revolving guests as well that we host on our show, but I think that we must be introducing ourselves, especially while we're getting established, because I look at establishing the podcast as a long-term thing. I don't expect anybody to know who we are or what we are about in a short time, even with us laying the road down. So I think that we should introduce ourselves a little bit. I don't even know what to say. I'm just gamer,
say what you
philosopher,
say.
Renaissance man, and I just
influencer.
I'm a small influencer.
The inheritor.
Inheritor?
Yes.
I'm not familiar with that one. But
I think they used that word in Halo. It was like the top rank.
Oh, okay.
Inheritor.
That's very nice.
And when you inherit, I guess you're going to inherit something. You will inherit.
Okay.
The world and its understanding of everything.
That
you
makes
will know all.
That makes sense. I'm sure there's much more to introduce myself, but I think that's probably sufficient enough for now. We'll be, yeah. So I want you to do a little introduction for yourself, so that our audience can just familiarize themselves with you more. Jay.
What's up, y'all? My name is Jay Stevenson Town from Xbox back in the day. Donald Pump. TTV, by the way, current day. But my government name is Steven. Call me Jay, Don, Steve, Steven. Just don't call me late for lunch. And I like video games. I like working. I like playing hockey. I love spending time with my family and my friends. It's I like long walks on the beach.
Very good.
Love playing Xbox. Some good pot. Like to bust a good nut from time to time too.
All right.
It's the truth.
It's a little TMI though, but okay.
No.
Well, but thank you. Your intro put mine to shame. I definitely.
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, thank you.
I think yours was
scholar and a gentleman.
No, I'm not a scholar, but I'm a gentleman.
You're okay. Your own admission. So yeah, I go by Albie13, and let's get this podcast going. Let's get to our first topic of discussion. Prior to starting
this podcast, we were just Albie and I are a little overdue for a podcast. But I'll just make the regular excuses. We've been busy. Haven't been. I lost. We had an idea, and I lost the umph and the motivation for it, because it felt like irrelevant by the time that at least I was ready to start talking about it. But but I got out of the shower. I got home from doing my thing today, and super busy. Thank goodness. I got out of the shower. And I'm like, let me call Albie. I'm listening to all these other YouTubers and shit, and I'm like, why don't we talk about it? Because I love Albie and known Albie for a little while now, and he always has something very interesting to say. So I love
a little while.
Love chatting with Albie.
You call a decade a little while?
Yeah, I mean, got me.
But that's cool. That's cool.
It could be a little while, could be a long while, could be a medium while. I guess it's up to the person who interprets what a while is.
Up for interpretation. Spoken like a true artist.
I did used to draw and paint and do stuff like that, actually.
Yeah. All right. So, thank you for that.
I wouldn't mind. I'm going to throw this out there, Albie, and you tell me what you think. I wouldn't mind jumping right into observing the George Floyd incident. I would almost like to watch it.
Well, I know that
together.
I don't think that this is the forum to play such a video. I think that information is freely available.
It's a good point.
Somebody could just easily either mute us or pause it and watch that video and then come back to us.
I thought about that.
I think I want to leave it at that if it's okay with you.
That's fine. I at least want to discuss what I've seen.
Yeah, and we can totally discuss. Basically, there has been video. There's, as I understand it, there are multiple angles, multiple sources of video, but it's essentially the video equates to all the timeline of video capture of leading up to it, or it's actually happening, an arrest, and then of course what eventually, well, let's just say, well, there's apparent misconduct and it led to the man's death. Yes.
I mean, that's the short of it.
Yeah. So, but if you want to talk about the aspects of what we observed, I mean, you can do that.
All right. Yeah. May I?
Yeah, go ahead.
After watching multiple videos, as many as I could find, I've seen, and let me be clear on something if I haven't been clear on it before. I mean, it's hard. You can't, I barely believe what I hear, and sometimes I don't even believe what I see. So I'm a really skeptical person, and I don't like he said, she said. So I'm just going to preface with that. And what I seen, well, first off, what I think what we all heard is he intentionally or accidentally used counterfeit money, and we'll never know that, ever.
I believe that is the official of what happened. That was why there was an arrest being made, or what the crime originated.
What I mean by that is we're never going to know if he knew the money was counterfeit or not.
Oh, yeah, we don't know that, but
we'll never know that.
I think that let me kind of do a how would you call this? Let's take a sidestep here for 1 second.
Okay.
And if you were to, let's say, you were to be given a counterfeit bill and you think it's real, you go to an establishment, you try to spend that bill, that money, and then the establishment will typically say, we can't take this, which would be like a soft way of saying it, but a stronger way of saying, we believe this money is not, it's a counterfeit, and we can't accept it. Usually they're going to warn you, give back the bill, or try to confiscate the bill, but we're not here to talk about that aspect of it, but essentially they're going to say,
That's a great, dude, I never thought about that. I've seen people try to use counterfeit money in front of me, I'd say my whole life, about 5 times, more or less.
Right.
And they just say, oh, this is counterfeit, we can't take this. They don't call the police on them.
Exactly. And they might call the police on them, but there's going to be some time that transpires, and usually they don't have the authority to hold you when they call the police. So what we might imagine is that Mr. Floyd may have been upset and may have been trying to force them to take the money, even if it was real. Even if the bill is real. That means that they are saying that they don't want to accept it. So there's a problem there. And sometimes the police are there to resolve the issue and say, you should, they may have an opinion on that or not, or they may come to have some kind of resolution, just say, look, the business is not cooperating. They have the right to refuse service to you. Why don't you go to another business and spend it there?
Right.
Something like that, right? So
in my experience, I've never heard or seen anyone have the police called on them for trying to use counterfeit money, because maybe they don't know they have counterfeit money, so it makes sense. Now, just like, and I just thought about this now, like you just said. So maybe there was a different reason they called the police, but I don't know if we're gonna ever know that. But
Right.
let's just say that they called the police because he used the counterfeit bill. Whether he knew it was counterfeit or not, we'll never know. That's the narrative that everyone seems to be going with.
Right.
Why was he just chilling outside of the store?
Well, that's we.
And
I
you're
think,
entitled to. You don't have to go anywhere.
yeah, it is a
But
free country.
okay, he was just chilling.
But you take your risks when you are in public and on your decision, your autonomy, your decisions of what you do may have consequences, right?
Right.
So,
So
if you
let
want to
me-
be safe, stay at home.
right, understood. Now let me hold on, because I got let me s- my this Blue Yeti. It's for a budget mic. I would call it a budget mic. It's pretty damn good.
Oh yeah,
It really
it's
is
famous.
Now, what I've seen from all the footage I've looked at is him being pulled over, although he wasn't driving. We'll call it pulled over because cops pulled up behind him.
He was stopped.
He was stopped. For whatever reason, it got to the point where they told him to get out of the vehicle.
Okay.
And at this point in time, I would say already that this police force is unorganized, unprofessional, and I wouldn't say, like, I want to say amateur, but they've all been there for a little while, but maybe amateur, I don't know.
No,
But
they
go
were
up
not
to-
amateurs. They had been in police work
For
as
a while.
policemen. Yes.
Right. They're like running around doing what they want. Like, it's anyway, we'll get to that. But so they go, two of the police officers go up to him. One of them looks Hispanic, the bald guy with the goatee. And I don't know if the other one was one of the white dudes or the Asian dude. But two of them go up to him. And he has his friend in the passenger side, both in the front seat. And it took two of them to cuff him, which means he was being resistant, which is not good. Not an excuse to kill someone, but you don't resist. Because let me tell you, I've had run-ins with the cops. I've been stopped, I think, I know at least twice, but I think only twice. Back in the day for just walking around. I was walking around with my friend who was also white, and we were walking around and we got stopped. I was still a teenager then. I'm 33 now. And then another time for walking on the sidewalk at like 2 a.m. I think it was. And I didn't get in trouble. I was just honest. I didn't have anything on me or anything, so it didn't even, So, but like, there were like 3 times total. Now I've been pulled over a handful of times, and I've been very fortunate. Okay, but I'm extremely cooperative. I have all my insurance, and I learned this at a young age. Because my parents, people are claiming, oh, black people's parents have the talk with them about cops. I had the talk with me about cops, okay? Always be respectful, always listen, always do what they say. My father taught me at a young age. Have your driver's license, insurance, and registration, all that shit ready. If I get pulled over, I have access to that shit quick. I have it right next to me, intentionally, just in case. So, the guy's being resistant. They're trying to cuff him. They finally cuff him. He's upset. I get it. They sit him down against the wall. I don't think they cuffed the guy in the passenger side. I don't remember, but they put them both pretty much against the wall. They spread them out. They were talking. Everyone was chill, no yelling. One of them went to get something from his SUV like 2, maybe 3 times. The cop had to tell him, don't do that. And he was chill. Like, it didn't escalate. Okay? And then at the end of that, another cop car pulls up, and you could see from his cam as well, but then you could see the cops start taking him to the cruiser on the sidewalk. And at first, he fell down or dropped down, and to me it looked intentionally, like he was resisting more. He didn't want to go in the cruiser. Yeah, that's what it looked like to me, but maybe he had a stroke, maybe he had a heart attack, maybe they tased him, maybe they tripped him, maybe they threw him down. That's what I thought. And then I watched Derek Van Shake, who's an amazing YouTuber. Absolutely amazing. I watched his video, and he actually zooms in. And it looks like he just fell down, like he didn't want to go in the cruiser. Okay?
Yes.
And so then where are we right now? He chose to go on the ground. He was initially being resistant. Cops so far are being cool, in my opinion. They were gentle, slow with him. I didn't hear any yelling. There was all sorts of recordings from cop cams, store cam, people, whatever. So then for some reason, the footage ends from all of those angles, and the next footage anybody has is of him laying on the street side. At first he laid down on the sidewalk side of the cruiser. Then of that same cruiser, he was on the street side. And that in between, how and why and when he got from the sidewalk side, laying down on the street, to the street side of the cruiser, laying down on the street on his belly, I haven't seen. I've really searched for it, and I can't find it because I'm curious to know what happened. Then there's, from one angle, you see the piece of shit cop with the knee on the neck from the sidewalk, the people on the sidewalk recording. But then from the other angle, you could see there were two more people on top of him. One putting their weight on his legs, knees area, one on his stomach, back, kidneys, lungs, all your internal organs, except the heart and some other stuff, I'm sure. I'm not a botanist. One guy on completely on him. And then you see this guy with his knee on his neck, and he's putting his hands in his pockets to kind of show you that he's not really putting pressure or force on this guy. But he is. He's putting all of his weight. I would say like 60. When you think about it, he's crouched down. He's still on his feet. His body mass isn't like centered on that point. So let's say like 60% of his weight, because he's probably digging into the back of this guy's neck. So at this point, in my opinion, this is the third time he's resisted. First time when it took two men to cuff him, which it shouldn't take two, and you could see they were like wrestling with him a little bit to get it on. Second time, falls on the sidewalk. Third time when they were trying to put him in the cruiser, then he ended up on the ground, and that's when the people started recording again. So what I think is a possibility is he was I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, claustrophobic.
Claustrophobic, yeah.
Claustrophobic. He maybe had a panic attack, heart attack. He could have had anything. People were speculating or saying he was on some type of substance, So for me, I don't like people laying on me and being like I growing up.
Of course, it's not going to be.
I know what it's like to be like dog piled on.
I know.
I don't like it at all.
That's not
shit's
good.
Scary.
Yeah.
So I think that's what happened. I don't think they choked him, because you can't get choked. I get massages where I have these beautiful women. They walk on my back and my neck, legs, arms, hands. They walk on my head, actually, my feet. I walk on everything, right? And I've had these probably 120 to 130 pound women standing on my neck, and I could breathe, okay? And that guy didn't look like a slouch. He looked like he's in shape. He's a big man. So I think that he probably, I don't know if it's considered asphyxia, but he definitely, in a sense, had like the breath and the life like squeezed out of him, kind of, because he has three people. He probably was having a panic attack. He was using a lot of energy on telling them to get off of him, and he was talking a lot. So So that's what happened. Now, the craziest thing though, and none of it excuses what happened. It was the most amateur, unprofessional, arrogant. They didn't even care. They were on camera. Like it was the crazy. It's so disgusting. And the one guy that was on his neck, that guy, in my opinion, needs to be punished severely. Death penalty may be too nice. It may be too nice. Okay? And then they're saying he had the coronavirus. What if they say he died from something else and this guy walks? And the other three, I don't think should necessarily be tried as hard, but pretty damn close. No one did anything. None of the cops did anything. No one batted an eyelash at it. No one thought, like, maybe this guy really can't breathe. They're telling him to check his pulse. It was so fucked up. And then, off the bat, it makes white, and cops look bad. This one piece of shit makes everybody look bad. I mean, not everybody. You get the point. So, he makes everyone look bad. And, you know, and then we'll get into, like, in a little, very soon, in what happened with that. But, so, these 4 cops need to be made an example of, I think. It'll be good for all the police forces because there's been, and I kind of, in my rant, or my, talking and thinking.
Yeah, you're really ranting because you're not letting me respond to any of those points, but very
dude,
good.
Cut on
Go on, bro. No, I don't do that.
So I got, when I was younger, I shouldn't have, I drove fast past these 2 cops that had this one guy pulled over, and one of them drove, like, I shouldn't have been driving fast, bottom line, but I went and parked in my spot right by my house. He pulled his car right in front of my car, ran out, gun drawn, right fucking close to my head, dude. He pulls me out, throws me against my truck, searches me, cuffs me, throws me in the back of the car for like 30 minutes or an hour or something. I don't remember. I felt violated there. But, I'm just saying, you gotta like, I don't know if making it a race thing is really is it really a race thing?
Well,
I mean, so, but that's it. So that's my observation. The cops were big time in the wrong. They need to be punished. They need to be made examples of. I wish Donald Trump would step in and handle it personally. And that's one thing. And the second thing is the guy resisted 3 different times. He resisted. And you don't do that. I don't care how old you are and who you are. You just don't resist. And that's it. So, all right. I'm going to shut up.
Well, I just wanted to kind of ask about this. I don't really have a more elegant way to ask this question. I'm gonna just try to ask: you seem to have a very strong opinion on the way that these policemen should be dealt, and is that because, or is it influenced by what has been going on in the world in terms of protests and riots?
It's not influenced by the riots. I know that there's a lot of fucked up cops out there. I know that. I really, really know that. And there's not many of them compared to how many police there are. I mean, when I say a lot, I mean 1 is too many. Okay? But there's corrupt government, corrupt law enforcement, corrupt cops. There is. And I'd say of 100%, 100% of the police in America, I would say 3% is corrupt and fucked up, which is way too much. I mean, hopefully less. Hopefully my number is way off. Hopefully, because I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But, I mean, it's kind of based off of, like, what I've heard, what I've seen, what I've experienced. I remember going out to eat with a friend of mine at like 2, 3 in the morning. We went to get like some breakfast or whatever, and there was a group of cops sitting in this diner, and I heard one of them say, "Yeah, I would love to bash her fucking skull in or something." Obviously I won't forget it. It was years ago.
They should never say that, right?
Never. And I say that, Albie, not because of the riots, but if you're gonna be I look up to the police. They're supposed to be leaders. On their cruisers, it says stuff like respect, honesty, integrity, trust. Like those are the adjectives and nouns, and those are the words they use on their vehicles. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you're supposed to believe in that. And I think policing, especially now with all the shit that has happened, they need to be 100% on point all of the time. You cannot fuck up like that.
Okay.
There's no excuse for it. And it's happened before, and that's why I think we kind of need to make examples now, and our president should let all these places know we're not fucking around. And you crack down on everyone little by little. You speak to state officials, and they branch out to the counties, and then they branch out to the cities, and you let everyone know we're not fucking around anymore, and if you fuck up, we're gonna fuck you up. So
Okay.
that's what needs to.
Okay, I think you made a good argument for why they should be made examples of. I guess the thing that what I would want to say and what I would like to happen is, I don't want those 4 police officers to be dealt with, and the lesson that you're trying to get across there is not being put out or tacked on with that. In other words, you don't want them to just be punished, but it should be made a point that we expect professionalism from law enforcement.
That's correct.
And this is why but oftentimes they'll just be like, well, because I mean, honestly, I feel like they're being punished stronger, and maybe they're gonna be, or maybe they're just facing punishment because this issue has been, stressed more. You know what I'm saying? But I think that law enforcement. Okay, so, and what I wanted to say here at this point was, I was watching a video about I don't really want to name anything, but there's a YouTube channel that talks about how they audit, as they call it, after some police interaction has transpired. They say, like, how good or bad did the professional police, obviously they were doing a job, how good or bad did they do at their job in terms of, in the interaction. And I think there was one video which I didn't expect for them to make the commentary or the opinion that the job of the police has changed from the old days when they were expected to be part of the community and work, like, interacting with in a community fashion. Now they're expected more to do their job of policing, and they actually have less or almost no responsibility in the community. So that portion of their job has gone away. So there should be more room and resources allocated to them to have the professionalism of dealing with. There are going to be interactions with the public, but it's more about, okay, they're observing and they notice crimes happening and they question things, and that's their job. That's their only job. Their job is no longer talk to the little old lady and get the cat out of the tree. That's not, it doesn't happen. Even from the smallest town, they call the police to deal with issues that the police have to deal with, up onto the mega cities. So that's just what I wanted to highlight at this point.
Well,
I think you had some interesting points that you talked about, and I think I mean, if I had to pick one thing to ask you about, I know we're gonna move on to another discussion point, but you talked about that you didn't believe that that what the officer did was, I think you used the term choke. There was not a choke happening, but there was asphyxiation, or the 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 man was being restricted in, being able to breathe, and if
Right.
or you led into a point of, if he had coronavirus, then he'd have a really hard time breathing.
Oh, yeah, hold on.
In and by itself already. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Now, here's an interesting thing. If they deem his reason for dying coronavirus, this cop, he could get off. No?
Yeah, well, here's the thing.
Think about that.
You're talking about,
One thing that blew my mind, whenever there's an issue lately, everyone just seems to like stream it and not prevent the tragedy from happening. They just stream it and watch the tragedy happen and expose it to everybody. They record it, stream it, whatever. Like, it's like they want to let it happen and let it create more of a problem. Like, if I were one of those people, I wouldn't have been recording. I would have stepped away and called the cops. Yeah, there's an emergency. You have 4 cops here right now killing somebody. I wouldn't be fucking recording.
That's a really difficult decision for, as they call bystanders to make, right?
Not me. Not me.
It's that I think I definitely will leave that one there, because I couldn't expect that people would try to police the policeman. I couldn't expect that. It might happen.
I think we should have that discussion now.
Oh, well, they're talking about stuff. Before this stuff happened, they talked about, well, should we have...
itself out.
Well, I'm just saying, should they have, like, an independent... because right now they have internal affairs.
Uh-huh.
And the internal affairs are the ones who make decisions on, how police conduct things. But they're saying, do they need an independent source to, review how the police are doing things?
Yeah, this is where I wish Donald Trump would step up. I don't think there might not be people in the government who care enough. The ones that are in charge of shit like this, they may not even care. It's scary. It's fucked up, bro. And H3H3 put out a video. I personally disliked it, about this incident and police and this and that. And he said, what was he? Oh, he showed H3H3 showed a video of George Floyd talking like some type of, in a sense it was positive, like he's like, oh, these kids are behaving a certain way and with the guns and this and that, and it made him look really, really good. So Alvy, I'm going to repeat it for you.
Please do.
Are you listening?
Yes, I apologize.
All right. Don't. Thank you. You know who H3H3? Which, by the way, everyone calls him H3H3, but to me it's just like he, like haha.
Okay.
But he just used 3s instead of E's, and then it just, instead of from he, it was H3H3. But anyway, he put out a video.
Yes. He Productions. H3 Productions.
If you watch this video, we put George Floyd. He found a video the guy did, like it was kind of like, I'd say along the lines of uplifting or something, to make him look like, with paint him with like good light, which I agree. We got a lot of feedback coming in, and
sorry about that.
It's okay.
We had a motorcycle rip through the studio.
Yeah, it happens. And it's a good thing that he, So maybe the guy, it's so hard to do. But anyway,
Yeah, tell me about the matter. Like, tell me about the core of it of the point, because about H3H3.
well, the core of the point is the video he showed that George Floyd made showed him to not be a bad guy. Showed
So
him to be a nice guy or a caring guy.
okay, yeah, that's a good point. So do you feel that the do you feel that the video was being not completely honest in that case?
Which video?
Well, you just said that H3's
Well,
production.
I don't know. I gave the video a dislike. I didn't like it. I didn't like some of the things he said and how he made it a color thing. I'm someone
Right.
who really believes that color should be just left alone, just the human race. Okay, it's not. And no one's actually white or black or even brown. Like, I mean, it's even, I mean, there probably are brown people, but um, no
But
one's actually black or white. Like, I wish everyone just leave the color thing alone. It's like primitive by now, I think, and everyone's so mixed.
I
Like,
understand that.
both of my baby mamas are mixed. My first one is dark, and my second one's from Vietnam. I mean, she's light skinned or white. I don't know.
Is it
So,
your
but go ahead.
is it your opinion that the race matter shouldn't be in the discussion for
Correct.
George Floyd?
Not without. Oh,
Yeah, for George
I
Floyd.
don't know. Maybe that cop was racist. But remember,
Right.
two of the cops there, one was Hispanic, like kind of tan, dark, or brown, and the other was Asian. I mean, is that white? I don't know.
Let
So
me
I
ask
don't
you.
know. Was it a race thing? I
Let
don't
me
know.
ask you a question.
Let me answer.
Is it possible that George Floyd was targeted? Maybe
Um,
because of the racist aspect?
it is possible. Anything's possible, and I really
Okay,
hope
but
that
that's not what I'm
the
asking.
case.
How
Wait,
probable
what?
is it? How probable is it? What's the likelihood?
I don't know. Where do you even get those numbers from?
Okay. That's a fair response.
I wouldn't even know where to begin to speculate the probability of it being a race issue. I mean, how many racist people do you know? Because everyone I know loves everybody. I say hello to black,
Yeah.
Hispanic, yellow, purple,
Ah.
green, pink people every day. I
You
say hello, I smile, how are you? And they're just as nice back to me, door holding. So that's what I love about Florida, dude. Melting pot of hardworking people that just want to have a nice life. I love Florida.
you may
Love
not
it.
you may not agree with what I'm gonna say, but there is too much racism out there, and I've met too many people that have some racism, and it's in different shades, right? I mean, there's
See,
just yes. Go ahead.
here's the thing. If people, I don't agree with quote unquote racism or whatever that is, but I don't like when people discriminate other people because they're from a certain place. But if you think about why, I mean, dude,
But
there's black people that don't like whites or Hispanics or Asians. There's Asians that don't like blacks. There's whites that don't like Hispanics or
okay,
blacks.
but don't muddy
And
the
there's
issue.
Hispanics that don't like blacks or whites. I've heard it from them all. I've worked in the construction field for like 15 fucking years now. I've heard black people say nasty shit about white people, probably less than I've heard white people say nasty shit about black people, and I've heard Hispanic people say nasty shit about black and white people. I've heard Russian people say nasty shit. White as snow Russian people say nasty shit about white Americans, calling them rednecks and shit. If you're white, you don't want to be called a redneck. Like, say, actually, I don't care. I'm not, but even if I was, I don't. It's something I'd be proud to be, actually. But anyway, the point is, there's people from all walks of life that don't like other people. I mean,
Yeah.
shit, dude, I've been discriminated against. Growing up, I went to two schools that were easily 90% black in middle school and in high school. I've been picked on for being white. I've been unfriended for being Jewish. I've been picked on in grade school for being Jewish by black, Hispanic, you name it, dude.
This just
Like
be
it, and they learn that from their parents, though. You don't blame the kids. I'm just saying, the people are out there. I've heard it all.
this is just
People don't want to like other people. It's stupid, but let them. As long as you stay, let them isolate themselves in their hatred land and their shit. It'll all work itself out. Most I don't know, bro. Everyone I meet, man, and I'm out every day, everywhere. Supply houses and Home Depots and food stores and skating with my kid and the ice rink. There's just all sorts of people, just so many different people. Today I was talking to this guy, man. We were talking, just vibing. He was also a Trump supporter, man. Like, and he's from Cuba. We were talking, all the old school Cubans support Trump, all of them, because they know what communism's like coming from fucking Cuba.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
they know what it's like. But anyway, my point is, dude, there's going to be people from everywhere that don't like other people, and everyone sticks tight to their group. It's just the way it is. As long as you don't hurt anybody and just show some consideration and manners when you're out in public, just be nice, not a big deal. You know, that's it.
Yeah, you have a great message, but I'm a realist, and what I want to apply here is when it comes to police officers, I think that I want to ask you the question. You can think about it, and you might.
And I've been pulled over by like 3 black cops before.
Okay, I'm talking right about that stuff because I'm asking about profiling. Do you think profiling has an aspect of racism involved in it?
Do I?
You understand what profiling is, right?
Yes. I mean, thank you for asking.
In terms of law enforcement.
I mean, it could. I mean, I would.
It could.
If,
yes.
If
and
if
it does
I
sometimes.
But if you see someone, let's just say you see 2 men walking, one black, one white, both looking like they could do drugs or maybe they have, you know what.
I don't
you know
think your
saying?
example is going to help, and I'm sorry to interrupt on that, but I just feel like it's you're creating like kind of a scenario, you know what I mean, where it's so much more valuable to actually draw upon real, real stuff that's happened in recent times than us thinking about it in a abstract way. Because we know in a perfect world, yeah, they should be treated the same, whatever. If they're both criminals,
Right.
they're both criminals. Doesn't matter about the race aspect. We could say all that stuff, but that's just closed world, that's a contained scenario. So, anyway, I'm just trying to really get to have a lot of quality in our discussion.
I want to ask you a question. If
Yeah.
you're a police officer and you see a white guy walking, looking around, looking over his shoulder, maybe looks rough and beat up, tatted up, maybe pants sagging, and you do see that stuff. I mean, you do in Miami. Or he just looks rough or suspicious or, whatever. I mean, what's your impression going to be?
I'm going to think that they may be up to no good. Right?
Right. That's what I would think.
But that's because, they're applying a lot of preconceived ideas.
Yeah, but where do these... Okay, and not only for this specific instance or any scenario or experience, why are these things preconceived? Is it maybe because...
History, bro.
People and history has some type of track record and reputation?
Yeah, if you look at gang members, they've always had, the pants low, wearing gang colors,
if you see
tattoos.
Some dude with it all tatted up with a grill and a wife beater on with sagging jeans.
Right, they're not going to think they're an aristocrat.
Black, white, or Hispanic. I mean, and...
Right. So, yeah, they
you
might be up to no good no matter what.
And then if you can't... I mean, like I said earlier, and I gave those examples intentionally, I've been pulled over for just walking before. I'm a white kid, or white guy. I was younger at the time. But still, I hair on my fucking face. I look like an adult, at least I was for the most part. But I don't be walking around the street anymore because I'm a grown up and I have a vehicle and shit. The only time you see me on the street, I'm jogging or riding my bike with my kid or something. So, if you're
don't forget that the Generation Z doesn't want cars, and they're going to be walking around, and they're going to think you're not with it. You're not with times because you have a stupid blender that you drive around. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, fuck those kids.
Oh wow! The generation that's after you. Okay, all right.
I mean, whatever. No, it's not the generation. It's people who think, like, look, you got to work hard and you got to take care of your business, man. I'm a believer in that. But
right.
Anyway, look, the point I was making before,
yes, sir.
I brought the getting stopped by cops before, and nothing happened because I cooperated and just listened, and I had nothing to hide, and I wasn't actually doing anything wrong. But I was still stopped.
Yes.
For doing nothing. Are cops entitled to question you and stop you if you're doing nothing?
No.
Out in public? No. Well,
no.
I was.
They can't.
And maybe
they can't
but
question
maybe
you about.
Yeah, but what if they need to?
Well, they have to have.
What if they feel they?
But
what if that person goes and does something wrong? I don't think there's anything wrong with questioning someone.
They can ask questions, but you don't have to talk to them. You see what I'm saying?
I know. And how lucky are we?
Yes, it's only in this country can you do this kind of thing.
In Mexico, they fucking stopped me. I had one joint on me. They took my joint and they took $200 fucking from me.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Sounds like Mexico.
And they said if it wasn't that way, they would have taken me to jail. And I should go to jail in Mexico. No, thank you.
No, you don't want to go to jail there.
So, I think police need to, if they feel it necessary, but there's got to be a way to get everyone on the same page to where people aren't making crucial mistakes like that, especially one is unprofessional, just consistently, just decision after decision was poor. Every decision about that whole incident was so poor, unprofessional, and amateur that it seems like almost like a setup.
Well,
and when did they call the ambulance?
Look, man.
And the guy that came out of the ambulance walked over, like, expecting it to be what it was.
I can't talk about, like, the really big picture. Jay?
But my go ahead. I just want to conclude. Go ahead.
It's relevant to what. It's relevant to what you're saying right now, and what I'm going to say. There was a government official. Shoot, if I want to remember the position. Give me a second.
Take your time.
Try to be very accurate.
Understood.
Okay, I'm going to talk about. So there was. I will say what, at what level they're at. Okay, there was this person that made a statement in public about George Floyd's death was essentially some kind of an ordered. Well, what is it? If the man dies, then it's an execution, right?
I guess.
Just by definition, I don't want to use an extreme word, but so the man was basically selected to be killed.
They had to make that decision quickly.
Isn't that very...
They're like, okay, this is the guy we need. He's been here this long. I guess
but
they would
that's
have to make it on the spot. No one knew he was going there and going to do that
right.
day.
Okay, but
something they probably needed to do for a while, and that was when they pulled the trigger.
Okay, but remember what I told you, right? Was it because of the color of his skin that they may have chosen a black person?
I don't know, and I wish we could know
Right.
that.
But
I
do
wish
you,
we
but
could find that out.
could you see how that could be possible?
It's definitely possible, and I
Okay.
hope it's not true. I hope that's not true. It's definitely possible. But my point in telling you about my experience and saying, hey, if you see someone, doesn't matter what color they are, with tatted up wife beater or some type of, like looks rough, looking around, looking suspicious, and like, like sagging pants and acting a certain way, like, you know, and we think that way because people
Okay.
that are from a certain place and look a certain way, they have a track record and a history of behaving a certain way, and that's where we get. So I don't know. I don't know if it was racial. I don't know if he was white and the same exact thing happened if it would have went down the same way. But I'm pretty sure there has been white cops who have killed white people before. There has to be.
Okay, this person here was chairman position in a county. That's all I'm gonna say. It's just what level they're at. Okay, that's a political position, chairman
Right.
of a county. Okay, so that person was the one that said about that, and that is where. So I want to have like a source so that none of this is coming from any, maybe a source that you wouldn't think has any, bearing, or has any, anybody should listen to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the I don't even want to use exact terms, but this was an event that happened that perhaps perhaps a black person is more likely, if this is true, that they were targeted, and the event was supposed to end in a death. Okay, so for some reason, now we're not going to go further into the entity or the reasoning, but if that's the case, that's a huge revelation. We know that this is not going to be blown out in the open. We're not going to hear about this stuff, and people will already think this is some kind of a conspiracy, but that's exactly what it is when people conspire to do something, right? It's a conspiracy.
Right.
So
but it wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me.
Yeah.
The government seems to be very crafty and calculated, and I think that, I don't know of any of it to be true, but I think there's definitely maybe some motivation for some people to try and do anything they can to try and make Trump not get back into office as well. I think there's all sorts of possibilities. Right. I think they're endless.
If you think about it, what the motivation, especially from powerful, influential people, right? It could be that it is time for, they may feel a changing of the guard, which is a very big phrase or term that you may be familiar with. Changing of the guard, where they no longer feel that President Trump should be in that position for some reason, right? Or multiple reasons.
I think too many people want him there. On 441, right before you jump on 595, there was a guy parked today. Saw this, so many hours ago when I was on the street. There was a guy in a van selling Trump memorabilia, flags, banners, T-shirts. It was awesome.
Wow. Power to the people.
Yeah.
God bless America. So, okay, yeah. I mean, I think. What do you think? We're at the 1 hour mark.
I think I want to quickly run and get myself a drink. 30 seconds. I'll be right back.
Okay, go
and
ahead.
Happy birthday, Cryptic Zay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. President.
Mr. President.
So, I'll be right back. Hold on.
All right, handle it. We will we'll wait
back.
your return. Go ahead. Okay. So, I don't know why the quality of that video feed is low, but working with what we got. So, I imagine that we will be, we are going to start to get to our final topics of the day. because we tend to run long. I think we had that was the bulk of our first discussion. That we went over everything. We said what we wanted to say, and we kind of responded and everything. And I think we're gonna try to move on to the last subjects for today's podcast. We're just waiting for Jay to return. So I guess you could think of it as a small break. I am here, active, but I want to have the discussion with Jay. Just clean. I guess. Wish that we had music playing. I don't want to play music because that is on Jay's side. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't have that music playing, so never mind. I'll remember that for the future.
Now, I should have taken a piss, but I didn't.
Come on, you got to be a podcaster. Podcasters don't say taking a piss.
Joe Rogan takes pisses.
I'm sure he does, but you're not Joe Rogan, okay?
Yeah, so what's the difference?
The difference
if
is...
he could say he could take a piss, I could take a piss.
Say
this isn't China. This isn't Venezuela.
I'm not limiting you. You want people... It's not very classy, okay?
It may not be classy. It may be assy. But at least I ain't lying. Let me give a quick minute just to acknowledge Cryptic Zay and Pepe. How you doing, boys? There's a couple other people in the chat. Another happy birthday to Cryptic Zay. Thank you, Donald. River Beaches. I'm starting a boat fleet this week. And this, I just want to, on the behalf of Pepe, on behalf of Yidis, I just want to say this podcast is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends.
Shut up. When they pay us
best
money,
MMO online RPG FPS.
Oh my god!
Best game out, free to play.
We're not sponsored by.
Go download Raid Shadow Legends.
Raid Shadow.
All right. So now that we've talked about, could we continue?
Yeah, that's what we're here for, baby.
Now that we've spoken about this whole incident, can we talk about what has happened because of it?
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah, I understand where you're getting at.
Do you want to go or do you want me to go?
No, you go.
All right. We have rioters, looters. They're no little kids. They're no old heads, grandmas, grandpas, or even parents. Oh, there might be parents. But there's these young people that have been motivated by certain organizations and media outlets, and they're being influenced and told to riot and destroy and steal. And funny enough, it's places that are like heavily affected by the coronavirus, coincidentally. I hear a little bit of it is going on in Florida. Well, Florida's populated,
dense
and we're
areas.
getting a little bit of it, but it's not crazy. But you know, there's it that response. It may on a tiny little, just barely send a message, but it's not how you handle things. And you got people famous people, that influencers maybe, saying that they have money to bail these people out of jail. What?
Well, they can do whatever they want. It's a free country.
These people out, bailing someone out of jail for destroying property and stealing.
No, let me tell you what's bullshit. A judge suspended habeas corpus so that the people could be held longer than 24 hours without being charged. That's against the Constitution. That's a problem.
Then it shouldn't be. Now, what is this exactly that we're talking about?
That's exactly what I said. You want me to say it again?
Who is this person and what did they do?
No, there's many people that have been held longer than 24 hours. The judge has made a decision to allow the police to hold people indefinitely without charging them. Forever. Indefinitely.
Why would they do that?
Why would the judge make that decision?
Correct.
Maybe because he wants to get this, removed from being a judge, because that is just wrong.
Doesn't he know that that's
unconstitutional? Yeah, he's supposed to know that. Yes, he's a judge.
What if it's unconstitutional? Would that make it illegal?
Yes, doubly so, triply
then
even.
How and why is he getting away with that?
Because he is supposed to be a neutral party making a decision, but he's
not.
Who
is this person?
Well, that we will have to find out right now. All right.
How do you know about this? Where did you find this information?
This was in the news.
So we have a bunch of people from, I'd say, the ages of 16 to approximately 30, I'm guessing, rioting, looting, stealing, destroying people's businesses and livelihoods. You got famous people and influencers saying that they have bond money for these people. You got mainstream media like the Clinton News Network and other
CNN,
sources of media.
Let's not use biased terms.
I'm just joking around, but
people take it as not as a joke. That's the problem.
That's their problem, not mine.
Yeah, but that is not good for our platform.
You think
so?
In
my opinion. Yeah, we should not be using.
Well, I don't want to not be me.
Be you, but explain that, because I had to tell you to explain it. You know what I mean?
All right.
In my opinion.
Hold on. You got all these media sources and people virtually telling people to go riot still.
Yeah.
And there's neatly, carefully, organizedly pallets of neatly stacked bricks being left for them to use. People have died.
You're getting onto another subject. I have the judge.
No, I just want to give.
Ready?
Could we maybe dive a little deeper into it? I just want to say surface level what the results are from this.
Okay, go.
It just seems really corrupt. And imagine. You got innocent police officers who are actually here to help being attacked. You got firefighters having bricks thrown at them, trying to save lives and save people. And we're allowing it.
Okay. Is that your deep dive?
No, that was if you were listening, that was the surface level.
Oh, well,
I just said it was the surface level.
I know. Do you want to say more?
No, that's it. You wanted to say.
Okay.
You wanted to
well, I will
address the detail.
I will address the bricks, since we're there, and we'll go
address
backwards.
Address it all. I want to hear what you think.
Yes, we're going first, and we'll go back.
And then
we'll crawl back to...
when we're done, get into the solution.
Well, if there's a solution, if we have a solution, if we're part of
there has
helping
to be a solution.
this thing out, well,
we can't let it happen.
Well, we could say certain government person should do a certain government action, but it's like we're just saying that, but maybe that's gonna help. Okay, so the bricks, there's just multiple things, man. The bricks thing is crazy. The spectrum is full. I saw a protester breaking up part of the street, for the pieces to be obviously being able to be thrown. So I've seen protesters do it. I've seen people taking pictures of bricks somewhere, and they're saying, "Oh, look what they have for the protesters, ready to go. Why are they here?" Like some bullshit. That was like basically debunked. A certain construction company was using that for some reason. So that's bullshit that they were put there for the protesters. That's not true. Then we have the full bore, okay, bricks are put out for protesters. Yes, this has happened. So you have the full fucking spectrum happening here, and it's kind of like really hard because everybody will just say bricks, and all of a sudden it encompasses all of that, and people will tend to think, oh, well, there's these bad actors who just want to have bricks so that the people protesting can, break shit. It's just like... Go ahead.
In some of these communities, I've seen video footage that pretty much made me cry of black, white and black people yelling at white people who are breaking shit and spraying BLM on, like, telling them to stop. Like, stop doing that. One of them said they're going to blame us, she said. And, like, saying you're destroying the community and the bus stops where people wait to get picked up, and, like, you're destroying all this shit. And she's crying. It made me feel terrible. It was disgusting.
Yep.
And, like, it's just, all it is it's giving, like, 16 to 30-year-olds who don't have fathers, clearly, or whose fathers are not a part of their lives, an excuse, and the father's the most important being for any child, an excuse to go out, break shit, and steal. And people are dying as well. I think, 5 people have died? Probably more. Probably
something
more.
Like that. I'm glad you said that.
Is that what it's about?
I understand what point you're making and what you're saying. I think obviously we know that's a rhetorical question. We know it's not about that. So we'll leave it at that because we want people to think about that question. Is this what it's about, Is it about people going in and stealing luxury goods from the store? It's just ridiculous.
I mean, is robbing a liquor store for George Floyd, or like, what is that message? Is that
that's how I'm glad you say it, because it's absurd when you say it, right?
Oh yeah, it's absurd. I mean,
so
is that
people better think about that?
The police, like, if they want to hurt the police, who are they trying to hurt?
Exactly. Okay. So we want to go back now. You made the point about corruption. So, I mean, of course, the corruption needs to be addressed.
There's a lot of corruption.
That. Absolutely.
I know people personally who've had tracking devices put on their vehicles, and people make smear campaigns, slander, and everything. Government corruption is so real. It is so real.
There's corruption, and then there's basically the public being taken advantage of, and unfair tactics used on them, right? That's not how law is. That's not how, you always hear about those stories about a criminal getting off of by a loophole, or not incriminating themselves because our Constitution protects you from incriminating yourself. Orange juice. So I think that we have a certain way that we get criminals in this country, and we need to continue to do things the correct way. We cannot just have policing that works any old way, any old fashion. If they want to do an illegal search without a warrant, which is against the Constitution, right? And we know that if they do an illegal search, if they do more illegal searches, they will get more criminals. We know that. That's not how things are done. It's wrong. It doesn't... We will end up not protecting our citizens, and our rights will be gone. And if we don't have rights, we have nothing. So
that's right.
Protect the Constitution. and learn it, and also, tell people about it.
No one seems to be caring about or enforcing the Constitution.
That's a big problem. Yeah.
It seems like that from my perspective.
The Constitution does seem to be being violated in recent times. So, finally, we get back to the judge. The judge is New York City Criminal Court Judge James Burke.
Of course it's New York. The looting Corona capital.
This is news from yesterday.
How is property value so high there? It's more than Florida.
Think of it like Hong Kong. It's a center for business and for... Remember, there was the World Trade, which was basically...
You can do business anywhere now.
Yeah, but remember, it's people get together in certain physical places such as that city, and that's how you could have all this internet, you can have all this wireless, video call, all this crap. People are people. The newspaper still exists today, which is crazy, right? But no, when you think about people like to hold the paper in their hand, okay? So people hold on to the old ideas, and one of them is getting together face to face, shaking someone's hand,
I still shake hands. I shook hands today.
You are a beautiful person. But
I
the
shook
idea
hands with
is...
a random stranger I met, the Cuban man I met today. We talked for a while at the ice rink.
Okay.
Our kids and everyone was there. We were talking, and his name is Tico. He said, "What's your name?" "Steven." "And yours?" "Tico." I put my hand out. He put his hand out. Shook hands.
Okay.
That's what it's about.
It's a beautiful
Old
thing.
School. These kids aren't going to shake hands in the future, Albie.
Firm
They're
handshakes.
fucking stick each other's elbows in each other's assholes.
Wow. So, so we're there on the discussion, and I think that was just something that I had in my forethought, because I'm hearing about things that's like, is there anything bigger than that? I mean, do you understand the magnitude of a judge ruling against something that's in the Constitution?
And no one doing anything about it? Yes, that's insane.
Well, this just happened. So we have to see what the response or something, if somebody's going to do something about it, right? I think that we have to see. I definitely think it's this news just broke. This is really hot, breaking news, right?
Maybe we appoint somebody unbiased. We go through rigorous tests and questioning, and find someone. The president maybe has to appoint someone every 4 years to oversee everybody, if need be, like all judges, and all people, or like big government organizations or establishments, to make sure they uphold the Constitution.
We might need that. I think we might need somebody to... But I will say this, though. I value what your thought process is on that a lot. But I know that we have different levels of court to basically revisit, decisions. So there are higher judges, and a lower judge, it can get overruled by a higher judge. And there's a reason for that, the higher judge is a better judge. And their job is to see the decision from the lower judge and either say that they can uphold that decision, or they're against that decision. So there is a process. There's an appeals system. So it's just it can take time, and we don't have a perfect system, but we do have checks and balances, and we do have judges that are reviewing the decisions of lower judges.
Okay. I just feel like the people are maybe a little too biased who are in those positions. But anyway, okay.
Right.
Interesting.
I
hope it's taken care of.
Here's what we've seen. This is not like necessarily even typical, but we've seen a judge go from very neutral when they get in the job, and judges can be in that position for tens of years, 20 years, 30 years, whatever it may be. By the time they get to the end of their, being serving as a judge, they may have some bias. So they became biased while serving their position. So, I mean, I could definitely see possibly they need to be evaluated when there's something that stands out as, all of a sudden, after, when we look at the career and the decisions being made, we're starting to see bias. So perhaps they need to do an early retirement or be warned or something or retrained or something. So, I mean, there's definitely, we definitely we want to be really careful because we have a very big government, and all that is bigger government. So, and that means that taxpayers have to pay for the auditors, right? So it's more money for us, bigger government, more complex, takes more time. All of a sudden,
that's right.
We're going to have another person that needs to review the actions, so everything is going to be put on hold longer. So
I wish that our president going forward was required to personally deal with specific situations. I wish our president was required, to his or her liking, or to how they see fit, was required to deal with rioting or, on some level, police brutality, or I don't know, or like overseas issues, which a lot of people are involved. I'm just saying, yeah, like it'd be more definitive. It would be quicker action. And you know what's funny about all this stuff too? What happened to the coronavirus? Nobody talks about it. I've been to so many restaurants eating alongside people with no masks and shit.
Nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to talk about it. There's no appetite for talking about coronavirus.
There's none. We're dealing with it. People, I just go into places now, no mask. They usually don't say anything. Sometimes they do. I don't want to bust balls, but I do though. I have to, because it's stupid and it makes no sense. But there's what I want to ask you. What is the solution to the rioting? What is the solution? And what are the cops' punishment? So at the conclusion, what's the solution and the conclusion for the cops' punishment and the rioting? Well, the solution for the cops, we already discussed that earlier, so we don't have to talk about it again unless you want to. But the rioting, what's the solution for the looting and the rioting?
I would say that I would need the resources of the President of the United States in order to make an informed decision to come up with a solution.
You are the president.
Yeah, but I don't have my cabinet, right? I
don't have an answer.
Well, we will listen to you.
Well, are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. For the next 2 weeks, nationwide lockdown, somewhere from like 7 to 9 o'clock or something. Unless they're already doing that. Here, it's been 9 o'clock, but I think they let it up. But maybe even earlier. Anyone looting or rioting, just sprayed with rubber bullets, tear gas, pepper sprayed, tear gas, rubber bullets. And we do that till everybody stops. We arrest every single person looting and rioting, and we take whatever they have and give it to the places that they looted and rioted until everything's been fixed, and we make them clean up the mess and maybe just throw them all in jail for a while, which is that's tough though. And I'm just like, then we're going to end up paying for them with tax dollars, right? Is that how it works?
Well,
to be in jail. But
there's going to be some aspect of that.
People got to be held accountable. They have to be held accountable.
Okay. It sounds...
In my opinion, they need to be held accountable.
It sounds authoritarian, Jay.
How so?
You're just coming in there all heavy-handed, saying spray the protesters or the rioters with rubber bullets. No.
Not the protesters. Just the rioters and the looters. I never said protesters. If you're caught breaking shit or hurting people or stealing, breaking, hurting, stealing, you're not a protester. You're a criminal. You're breaking the law. Protesting is not breaking the law. It's so simple.
Yeah.
Essentially, I'm saying if you break the law, you should pay for it. That's exactly what I'm saying. And I'm saying how to do it. And the reason I say about the rubber bullets, if they're not listening, I mean, like, look, it's crazy. The videos I've seen, and I didn't even mean to see them, just happen, and then you can't look away. You just, like, it just happens quick.
Well, let's think about this objectively. If people are doing wrong, should they be still treated like how the police should deal with them?
How
right?
are the police dealing? Wait, what? Say that again, please?
I know. What I'm asking is not a straightforward question, but what I'm getting at is, if there are people that commit crimes, then they need to answer to the legal system, and they need to answer to law enforcement. But what you're suggesting is that the criminals are dealt with and what it sounded like was how the police deal with people that are rioting. So if there's one person there committing a crime, it's like, well, that you're giving them the authority to kind of escalate things to an emergency mode where they can be dealt with like a rioter. You see? So
wait, what?
Yes.
Could you repeat that?
Sure. And what I'm just saying is, if there's a criminal, they should be treated just like the core of the issue. The criminal needs to be treated the way a criminal would be treated, following the procedures of law enforcement, using the correct amount of force that should be used with professionalism of law enforcement, right? That kind of thing.
Right.
So, I mean, I think that's what we really need to, the message needs to be, like, the police need to do the right thing, and that is a measure that is for emergencies and for riots. So, I feel like it's
I think it's
going to
par
be
for the course. And don't let it get any worse. People's livelihoods and businesses are being destroyed, and people have died.
Yeah. But you're trying.
It's crazy.
I think you're trying to say that they need to control the situation.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that like America is supposed to be orderly? No, like we have like, isn't it about protecting? Like, aren't we supposed to be protected from shit like this?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying. It's just we have to make decisions carefully, and the police have to make decisions on how to. I think that's been the problem, is that the police have been making the wrong decision on how to deal with the public and how to deal with people, but perhaps they're lacking the training and they're lacking direction from the government on how to deal with this,
100%.
In some cases, they're dealing it with it too softly, and in other cases, they're doing too harshly.
I feel like Florida, the police here, are amazing. Miami Beach Police, Hallandale, Aventura, Hollywood, Davie, our FHP, like, Florida, dude, I don't think we'd let this shit happen in this state. No way. I don't think so. But I agree. I think that it starts a little higher up as well. I think the the chiefs don't have a hold on their department when they're behaving that way. And it's really unfortunate, and that should be a focus, mandatory, to make sure that our police departments and municipalities do not fuck around in any way, shape, or form. We have to be serious, and we have to be strict, and we have to take care of business.
Yeah.
And do it the right way, and we can't mess up. There's zero room for it has to be perfect all the time. You have to these people need to be trained. Everyone's
Right.
so focused on giving people equal opportunity and fair shots and jobs. No, we need big, bad, mean motherfuckers who are mentally sound and know the difference between right and wrong, who are our cops. Sorry. We need big, bad motherfuckers who are crazy but who are mentally sound, who know the difference between right and wrong, who are not racist, who are not doing dumb shit, who are not breaking the law and abusing and cheating, essentially. We need good people who take it seriously, and we need to get the right people at the top, because management is not doing a good job, in my opinion.
Well, I'm glad you said
and
that, because I really believe that
everywhere.
management is not doing the right thing.
Not everywhere, dude. Like I said,
not everywhere,
now,
of course,
but then you got a little bit of bullshit everywhere too, man. I know people. I've met people in all the in Hallandale. I met policemen from Hallandale, Hollywood, Aventura. I know a couple personally in Miami Beach. I've met some Davie policemen. They're good. They're good men and women. They're really good at what they do. But they also fuck up, dude. I've seen them fuck up, and I've heard about them fucking up. So I've heard about some really fucked up shit.
It's not a perfect
But we need
system.
to get no.
But you see a problem with management.
Yes.
The way things are being managed. Let's just say they're obviously policing. There's government. There's all kinds of things happening. So local, state, city management, and the problem is. That is the problem, right? If they were doing a better job, then we wouldn't be as outraged, and we wouldn't even be as so prompted to talk about this stuff. It really shouldn't be. Some of this stuff shouldn't be an issue, right? But it's like, here we are. I don't know.
What's the guy's name? Drew Brees?
Yeah.
He's under fire right now.
Is that in the news?
Twitter.
What's the issue? I don't know about it. We're at 1 hour 40 minutes, Jay.
Through my ongoing conversation with teammates, leadership, black community, I realized this is not an issue about the American flag. It has never been. We can no longer use the dude.
Takes you to Instagram. That sucks,
do
right?
a step by step. It's exactly the way everyone.
I'll see it. You can no longer use the ... Just hang on.
Look, all I'm saying is.
We can no longer use the flag to turn
agree.
people away or distract them from the real issues. Okay.
Okay, no. Go ahead.
Distract them from the real issues that face our black communities. We did this back in 2017, and regretfully I brought it back with my comments this week. We must stop talking about the flag and shift our attention to the real issues of systemic racial injustice, economic oppression, police brutality, and judicial and prison reform. We are at a critical juncture in our nation's history. If not now, I'm sure he meant to say when, he said then, 23 hours ago.
Drew Brees initially said that kneeling during the national anthem is bullshit. That's what he said.
Well, he's entitled to his opinion, and he may feel different about his opinion as time moves forward, right?
I agree. And then, no, I agree with him. And then everybody and they mama came out and gave him shit for saying that. And he bent the fucking knee and retracted
like
his
I
statement.
said, he may feel
and
different.
now he's apologizing.
Anyway.
Yeah, but he was pressured to do that, and he lost. He took the L so hard. He bent the knee to these fucking people, and showed weakness so he could keep it a certain image. And what a big disappointment. What a big disappointment. So, I have not much more to say.
So you're disappointed with Drew Brees. What about his recent comments?
Which ones? The ones you just read?
Yeah.
Bullshit. That's not how he feels and what he feels. He was told to say that.
Okay. So you feel like he's a puppet. They're telling him
he's
to
being
say
a puppet.
Stuff.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Do you think that's because of his career, though?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's because of his career.
It's his moneymaker, right? And
he's a fucking sellout. Fuck Drew Brees. Fuck the NFL.
Well, it's a shame, but
it is a shame. And
but then again,
kneeling to the flag. It's so pathetic.
Look,
if I were another country, if I were fucking Putin or Kim Jong, whatever, I'd be looking at America like, look, they're not even united together. They might be communist countries. They might be forced to be united in those countries. They might hate their people, but those countries, man, it seems like if you go against your people, they'll fucking kill you, is what it seems like from over here.
Yeah, the force is strong, right? So, what do you think about this? That this professional football player should just be a professional football player and not be talking about political things on a public forum. What do you think about that?
Correct. I think
So
big strong men should pick up pigskin and run it from one end of field to other.
And I don't want to, I think people have their, I think that the opinion is very valuable, but there's a time and place, and when you become a certain celebrity or it's like you're out there and you can't just always say what you want to say because there may be consequences you have,
Could you imagine? Doesn't sound right.
It's just is what it is. Now,
consequences for saying things?
But you're in a league. You've
so
signed a contract. You're not
to play sports, not to not share your opinions. Although I'm sure that's going to be implemented into the contract now.
Yeah, it's all in there.
Drew Brees lost so much respect from a lot of people. I bet. Not that he should care, or maybe he should. I don't know.
I think it's like you said. I don't think that necessarily goes against the NFL or whatever, but there's pressure for him to say certain things. There's pressure, and he's seems like he's succumbing to the pressure, right?
Yeah, sure does. You have me at cum.
Okay. So, do we have any other topics of discussion for today?
No, not today. I'm happy that we got to sit and talk together. I'm actually very happy.
Okay. Well, I think we had a good podcast. We can start wrapping it up.
All right.
We want to thank the viewers, everybody who's interacting with us on live comments, live chat.
Thank you, viewers. Thank you, everybody.
We
appreciate you guys and girls.
We do appreciate you. We would like you to make sure you subscribe and to our. This will be posted on our YouTube. Like it if you like it, dislike it if you don't dislike it, and that is working toward just you interacting with our stuff. We not only do we appreciate that, but it helps our content work in the system to be exposed and for people to find us, that kind of thing. Beyond that, we do directly broadcast to our Twitch channels, which is our gaming platforms, and we also do the podcast live. So if you want to be the first one to watch it live, we post on our Twitter and Instagram when we go live, and then we do actually stream on Twitch, which you can get notifications for. So it's important that you follow us there. We're gonna basically put our social medias in the description so that you can find us you could listen to our normal comments on there, and we of course post up the video on demand version of our podcast, so we do notify you about that too. We are actively looking for sponsorship, so if you have a company and you're interested in sponsoring us on some capacity, business inquiries can be made to our social media for consideration.
We give a shout out to Pepe's new business, the Fighting Alabamians.
Yeah, that's fine.
Boat Fleet.
Go ahead.
Our sponsor. Let's give go to the Fighting Alabamians.org. It's a boat fleet, and they stop rioting and looting. And let's give a shout out and a look. Let's download Raid Shadow Legends.
We're not sponsored by Raid Shadow. Not yet.
Yes, we are, dude.
What is wrong with you, dude?
What is wrong with everything, and what is right with me and everything is the question.
The only reason why I have probably a reaction to that is I was watching It's a Gundam on and he was sponsored. They opened the ability, or they tried to sponsor him, and he submitted a video of how he was going to represent the sponsorship for Raid Shadow Legends, and they basically said, we don't like how you used a puppet to represent our company, we didn't like the way what you produced, and we didn't think it was good, and they basically didn't go forward with the sponsorship. So I mean, I think they should have, because I think it was fine. They should have done more independent review. They did agree for him to have an artistic interpretation of how he portrayed the sponsored segment of his show. And I think it was in line with how he does things. I mean, if they looked at the history of his videos, they would have known what he was going to put out. And it was a beautiful, as he said, he's the Scorsese of, whatever, YouTube or whatever.
Who, PewDiePie?
No, it's a Gundam is his channel, but not to plug him or anything, but I do like his stuff. Some of the stuff.
What about Raid Shadow Legends?
What do you want to hear about our potential sponsor? No, I mean we want to see if they want to approach us, we will consider them as a sponsor, and we want to see what the offer is, and I would be more than happy to produce
monthly pizza deliveries.
Monthly pizza, yeah. We start. You are getting in on the ground floor here, so we're very much
We're ground florists.
We're more interested in having a quality sponsor that's going to stick with us for a little while, at least, if not long term. And we can renegotiate, but we're starting out very conservatively. So that's all I'll say, because I think that that's how you handle it. That's just how you handle it. But I understand. We want to earn money so that we can support the podcast, and part of supporting the podcast is having delicious food, paying the bills,
and feeding your body so you can function as a human.
We have a lot of equipment that we have. We obviously utilize softwares and services online, so we're in the economy. And yeah, thank you for listening to us on that. So on that note, do you have anything, final notes to leave off on, Jay?
No, thanks for checking out the content. You know where to find me on Twitch. Have a wonderful day. Be good people. Don't be fucking douchebags, fucking idiots. Be good people.
Be good people.
That's it.
I agree.
Love y'all. Take care.
All right. That's it.